Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Sunstone, and today I am bringing you the April 2022 developer update for Coral Island by Stairway Games. I'm so excited to share this update with all of you and see where the team is at in development right now. There's actually a lot of things in this update that we weren't expecting to see until the next version of the alpha based off of the development timeline, so it's actually really exciting to see that they seem to be like a little bit ahead on things. So for this developer update, the team is showcasing mount riding, movement mechanics, combat, and more. Excitingly, this update in particular will be accompanied by a new version of the alpha, version 0.08, which will be launching on May 9th at 11:59 p.m. PDT. So alpha players only have to wait just over a week to get their hands on this new version of the game. And this is actually the second to very last version of the alpha, according to the development timeline. So there's going to be one more version after this one. It really feels like we're getting closer and closer to the game's release. So first, the team revealed what mount riding will look like on Coral Island, and we get to take a look at what our horse may look like as well. I think the horse looks great. It gives me Disney vibes, to be honest. To acquire our trusty steed, we will first need to build a stable on our farm. And of course, the perk of horse riding is that your movement speed will be increased, and you can't forget that you're going to be able to trot into town with style as well. It's a nice added bonus. I do wonder if there will be different colors of horses that we can choose from. I personally think that the horse movement looks great, and we can actually see 4 different settings in this GIF. In the first setting, our player is riding over a bridge, which looks a lot like the bridge to the right of our farm that we've seen in this bug of the month and on the town map. The second setting is the beach, where we can see piles of trash washed up on shore that we are likely able to clean up and collect. In the third setting, our player is riding past what appears to be the top of a staircase, some lanterns, and of course our boy Surya. And the final setting actually appears to be at the Cherry Blossom Potluck Festival, as we can see some umbuls in the background, indicating that it is a festival day. And we can also see those race tracks on the ground that were revealed in the festival entrance photo in a previous developer update. Although you cannot enter any buildings or stores while you're on your horse, you can chat with the townsfolk. Here we can see the player chatting with Yuri outside of Sam's general store. This may seem like a minor feature, but really this is a huge quality of life implementation. Seriously, Red and I talked about this on an earlier episode of the Everything Coral Island podcast, and we were really hoping that we would be able to chat with NPCs without having to dismount and remount your horse every single time. Next, the team shared some of the player movement mechanics that have been added to the game. They've added dashing, which is activated by pressing the spacebar on your keyboard. And the intention of this feature is to make exploring the island more enjoyable and also to help you dodge enemies while in combat. So it seems like a very useful feature for sure. They've also officially added vaulting into the game based on alpha player feedback. Again, simply press the spacebar when near a fence and you'll hop right on over it. I think this one looks particularly great. I'm a big fan of this animation, and I'm still curious to know if vaulting is exclusive to fences or if there is anything else on the island that we can vault. Next up, let's take a look at the brand new Decor Mode user interface, which is still a work in progress, so keep that in mind. They've added categories so you can find items more easily while decorating. So there's a section that just shows everything, and then there's also a furniture category, a wallpaper category, a flooring section, and then a place to sort other items. So this does mean that there will be storage in your home for furniture, and you will unlock this feature after you upgrade your home. It also appears that we can switch back and forth from our backpack storage to our home storage based on the icons we can see on the top right. So I think that'll be very handy and useful. We can spot a lot of the basic furniture items that we've seen previously on display in the player home, along with some other items we haven't seen before at all, like the fish tanks, the calendar, and there's even a window item, it appears. So that's kind of cool to know that we will be able to decorate with windows. I think that is going to make a huge difference in how our interior spaces look. especially when lighting comes into play. So super excitingly and completely unexpectedly, they're actually showing off some of these stunning decorations that we can choose from for our home interiors. These apparently are still work in progress assets. I mean, I think they look incredible, but they showed off 4 different themed interiors. The first one here has a cabin feel with lots of wood furniture and cozy accents. The second interior is super fancy. It honestly feels like a room you would find in some sort of modern palace. The third interior is filled with traditional Japanese decor, which I love, and I used so much of this style of decor on my Animal Crossing island. I think it's so beautiful. And the final interior has a boho beachy vibe to the design. I think this last one might be my favorite, but let me know which one you love the most. And we're not done yet for this update. We also get to take a look at the first iteration of combat, which will be available for testing in the upcoming alpha update, so version 0.08. The team is going to continue to improve the mechanics based on player feedback, and they're also planning to do a deep dive into combat in a future update. But for now, we can see the player fighting a giant spider. We can see them blocking, attacking, dashing, and staggering. It honestly looks so much better compared to what we saw in the initial Kickstarter trailer. And I also personally love that the combat appears to be fairly involved. We're not just aimlessly swinging our swords about. There's actually some method to combat, so I'm really happy about that. Another fun addition is that the crates in the mines are now actually breakable. This definitely looks super satisfying. I'm really happy about this small addition. I think it'll make exploring the mines just that much more exciting. And it actually looks like the player has found something that appears to be gold, perhaps, in these crates here. So that's all for the main portion of this update. However, there's actually a ton of other updates coming for version 0.08 of the alpha that we just aren't yet able to see, but do sound very exciting. So for version 0.08, all seasons, yes, you heard me, all seasons are actually going to be unlocked and available to test. We weren't expecting seasons at all until the final version of the alpha, so this is great news, and I cannot wait to see fall and winter specifically on Coral Island. I'm so excited, and I do hope they share some of this with the public. We're also going to be able to actually fight a boss in the Earth Gate of the mines, and we're going to be able to access the Water Gate in the mines as well. The questing and progression overall has been revamped. The greenhouse is also available, which I believe will be built on our farmland in this spot right here to the left of our player home. There's also a brand new store, a furniture store, which is going to be accessible, and maybe we'll be able to start buying some of those beautiful pieces of decor for our home. I believe this must have been one of those redacted shops that were being teased, if I'm not mistaken. So we don't really know how many other shops there will still be to come, but this is so exciting that we get a furniture store on Coral Island. And I wonder who runs it. I mean, apparently we are going to get a glimpse at one of the new NPCs in this version of the alpha as well. So perhaps that is the NPC who owns or runs the furniture store. The requests available on the town board will now be testable, which I'm so excited about. I love a good town board. I love fulfilling requests and tasks from the townies, so I'm really excited about this as well. They're also continuing to rework diving mechanics. Somehow they are actually going to start testing multiplayer. This was not at all expected, so I need to know more. We were not expecting multiplayer until like after the full release. So they do say it's very experimental and it's very buggy, but I don't care. I'm so happy that it's already in its early stages of development. They've also added mini games to the Cherry Blossom Potluck Festival, specifically something called Balap Karung, which I believe is sort of like a potato sack race. And then they've also added an apple bobbing mini game, which is really cute, but definitely an interesting choice and something that I personally would have expected for the fall season. But there you go, we got apple bobbing. You can also now place objects like chests almost anywhere on your farm. So I believe there were some restrictions previously, and apparently there are a ton of updated environmental assets. So wow. just wow, honestly. It really seems like development is going quite well just based off of this update alone, and hopefully that means that we really can expect to play the early access version by the end of this year. On the channel, I asked, when do you think Coral Island early access will release? 44% of you actually said November of this year, November 2022. 29% of you said December 2022, and 27% of you said it would be delayed to 2023. I'm totally wanting to go with the majority. I would absolutely love to see early access in November. I think that would be phenomenal. And honestly, based off of this update, once again, that may be a safe bet. Thank you all so much for participating in this poll. I am going to try to do them more frequently. I sometimes forget I have the ability to do them, so they're super fun. So next month will be the update that is not accompanied by a new version of the alpha, since those come out every 2 months. But next month they will provide an update on revamped diving. They'll show off that furniture store, it seems, to the public, so that's exciting. Definitely gonna look forward to that. And they're also going to do that deep dive on combat mastery. So overall, this update was phenomenal to me. This is probably one of my favorites, actually. There's just so much going into this next version of the alpha. Again, I'm really hoping that some of these listed features that they didn't actually show off in photos will eventually be revealed to the public, even if it's just a few of them and even if it's a very small tease. Of course, I know they want to avoid sharing too many spoilers, so I always trust that they know what's best to share and they know the best time to share it. So let me know what you thought about this update in the comments below. What was your favorite feature that they showed off? What are you most excited for? What are you most curious about? Anything and everything. I always love hearing from you in the comments. With all that being said, thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and until next time, take care.